Thank you for joining us this afternoon. This is our fifth session on teaching on what is the transliteration. And we've been talking about, if you haven't listened to the first four videos about our teaching, then I encourage you to do so. But we're talking about the fact is if you understand what a transliteration is, then you'll have a better understanding of how to pronounce the Creator's name, how to pronounce the Mashiach's name. And then when you understand what the letters are, then you know how what sounds they make. Then you'll have confidence in using the Creator's name. You'll have confidence in using the Messiah's name. And so today we're going to spend a little bit more time on the Messiah or the Mashiach's name, about how it's transliterated. Again, if you remember what the definition of a transliteration is, it's actually making the same sounds from the original language, the way it was spoken, and using letters of your language, which our language would be the English language, and using the English letters to make the same sounds that the name, which was Hebrew, the Messiah was Hebrew. He was born into a Hebrew family. His parents, Yahusuf and Miriam, were Hebrews, and of course our Creator has a Hebrew name, and he gave his son a Hebrew name, told Gabriel to tell Miriam and Yahusuf what to name the child. You'll find that in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. And we know that he told them to name, and of course our English translation says that they were to call him Jesus. Well, first of all, we know that Jesus is a modern English name. It's only been on this planet really a little less than 400 years, or approximately 400 years old is the name Jesus. I just did a recording just a little bit ago, and if you haven't seen that, then I encourage you to do so too. It's on the fact I did a little video of a original King James 1611 Bible that I purchased. It's actually a facsimile copy of one. It's not one of the original. The original would be worth about $100,000 or more for a collector's item, but I have a facsimile copy of one, and you can actually see, in this video, you can see that there's no J letters in the original 16 King James Bible. With that said, that you'll not find the name Jesus in the original King James Bible. You'll actually see the Latin form, which is written with an I. It's would have been pronounced Jesus, which is from what they call a transliteration from the Greek, which is Jesus, which really none of these are transliterations because they don't sound like the original word. Of course, the original, it tells you, if you look this up, that the original name of the Messiah or the Mashiach is Hebrew. It's not Greek, nor is it Latin. And so I encourage you to watch that video if you haven't, just to show you. And I told you we're going to get into today about sharing a little bit more about the actual transliteration of the Mashiach's name. Now, these are the English letters that make up the Messiah or the Mashiach's name. Well, I'm going to show you the Hebrew in just a minute. But Yahu, this Yahu part is the first three letters of the Creator's name, Yahuwah. And this is, if you remember that the Messiah in John chapter 5, verse 43 said he had come in his Father's name. Well, Yahuwah is the Father's name. And so when you add the Shah part, this Shah part right here, this is the root word for the word salvation, which is the Hebrew number 3467. If you look that up, you'll find it's the word Yasha. But this is the root right here. There's two letters in Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, they'll tell you that you have to have three letters to make up a root word, but that's not accurate. It actually, in ancient Hebrew, or actually a real Hebrew, two letters can make up a root word. And the root word for salvation is the two letters in Hebrew, a shin and an ayin. I'll show you what those look like in just a moment. But they would be pronounced as Shah. So when you say Yahushua, you're actually doing a transliteration of the actual Hebrew letters, and you're pronouncing it accurately of what the Mashiach or the Messiah was called. It's sad to say that a lot of Messianic believers, and even Christian, believers who try to imitate Jewish believers, use the word Yeshua. And I can prove to you that Yeshua is not a transliteration of the Mashiach's name. First of all, I've got a note here, Yeshua, and you can look this up to verify this. I encourage you to verify everything. But Yahusha or Yeshua is not even a proper name in Hebrew. You won't find it in any lexicon or any, and you look it up. You can even look at it in Brown driver lexicon, and you'll not find, as it mentioned in that particular lexicon, that you'll not find it because it's not a Hebrew proper name. It's the only way you find it in the scriptures is as a passive participle, and they tell you that it means something saved. But we know that Shua does not. If you look up the word Shua, you'll find out that Shua does not mean salvation. But for the most part, I just want to point out the fact is that Yeshua is not Hebrew. It's Aramaic, and it's not even a proper name in Hebrew. It's used as a passive participle, which would be something, denote something saved or so forth. And I'll go into that in more detail later. But again, it's really an Aramaic word. It's not Hebrew, and so that will disqualify calling the Mashiach or being a transliteration of the Messiah's name. If you look up in the concordance, again for the word Jesus, it's going to refer you again to the Greek number 2424. It will tell you that it comes from the Latin form, which you'll see in your King James Original Bible as Jesus, and then it was transliterated from Greek Iesus, but again, it's not really an accurate transliteration, but that's what they tell you. And then it tells you that it's a transliteration from or the origin of the word is from Hebrew. And so the Messiah had a Hebrew name, and people today, for the most part, have no clue. They're calling him Jesus. They don't know that that's not his name that he was called when he walked on the earth. And so they're using the name. Now, I'm not saying that's the only name I knew for many, many years, really up until about 5 years ago, because I've been a believer for many years. I was born of the Spirit and the Ruach of Yahuwah, but I didn't know the Mashiach as Yahusha. I knew him as Jesus. That's the only name I knew to call upon. But that speaks of Yahuwah's mercy, is what it does. It speaks that he knew that the name of the Father and the Mashiach has been corrupted and hidden. The Creator's name has been corrupted or hidden with the title Lord in our translations approximately 7,000 times. That's why most people refer to our Creator as Lord, or even our Mashiach as Lord, simply because that word has been used as a substitution for the Creator's name and also for the Mashiach's name. And Jesus has also been used as an English word that's been made up. It was not what he was called when he walked on the earth. His name is Yahusha, which is a reflection of the Father's name. But now in heaven, and when he comes back, he's going to be carrying the name Yahuwah. He has inherited, as the book of Hebrews chapter 1 says, he's inherited a name that's more excellent than all the angels, all the messengers of Yahuwah. That name that's more excellent is the name Yahuwah. His name, and it also says in the book of Zechariah, that when he comes, that there'll be one Yahuwah, and his name Echad, or one. His name will be one, and it is Yahuwah. He will not be known as Yahusha, he will be known as Yahuwah, which Yahusha is Yahuwah manifested in the flesh. But when he comes again, he comes as Yahuwah, our King, and he's also declared he will be called in those latter days Yahuwah Sikkenu, which is Yahuwah our righteousness, is who he'll be called. Now, going back to, if you look up, like I said, the name Jesus in a Greek concordance, it'll refer you to the number G2424. Then it tells you the name, the origin of the name is Hebrew. It will give you the Hebrew number 3091. If you look that up in your say Strong's Concordance, it's going to give you the name or the pronunciation, and this is not accurate, but this is what it's going to tell you, that it's Yahushua. Now, it actually even spells it out, Yehowshuwa. we've already talked about the fact is that the letter W is a new addition to our language. It's not. It was not in ancient Hebrew, and the letter that most people refer to that as is the sixth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, known as a Wa or a Vav. And the only way you can get that sound, or those two sounds, a Vav or a Wa, is to use vowel points to add to the letter to get to the pronunciation with a W sound or a V sound. That letter, the sixth letter, which looks like a hook or a nail, is actually makes the oo sound. And in ancient Hebrew, we can prove that because they did not use vowel points. That the letters themselves supplied the vowels. There are actually 5 vowels in ancient Hebrew. 3 of those are in the Creator's name. And actually, they're all vowel sounds because the second and the fourth letter are the same in the Creator's name. And but Yahuwah's his name has all vowel sounds. I don't know of anybody else that has all vowel sounds in their name. Yahuwah's name is unique. It's set apart. It's pronounced Yahuwah, and that's how his name. But the third letter in his name is pronounced with a oo sound, and that's another reason why his name is not Yahweh, because the W is a new addition to our language. It's new in Hebrew. It was not in ancient Hebrew. They could never have been calling him Yahweh because that letter, it has the oo sound. In fact, there's prophets in the scripture. There's 137. I might have that number. It might be a little off, but I think it's accurate. 137 names of prophets in the scriptures with the or patriarchs in the scripture with the name of our Creator pronounced Yahoo added to their names. It's not Yahweh or Yah with a W sound. It's Yahoo, and for that reason, you know, the scripture says in Acts chapter 10, and I believe it's verse 26. I've quoted a number of times, but you can look it up. It says that all the prophets witness that who remission of sins or salvation is found to the name. They all witness to the name. I'm not quoting exactly correct, so you can look this up. But it talks about that they all witness to the name, or what name it's talking about. It's talking about Yahuwah's name, and their names, by carrying Yahoo, witness to the fact that salvation is who salvation is found in, and that is in our Creator Yahuwah. 3 of the first 4 letters of the Creator's name, not with a W, but it's Yahoo. Even today, the Prime Minister of Israel is Benjamin Netanyahu. He carries the Creator's name, and I actually have seen his name written with the Yod, the Hey, and the Uah, the Yod, Hey, U sound in his name without vowel points, just with the letters, the ancient letters, or the modern letters without vowel points, and it would be pronounced Yahoo. So, we're going to have to stop here because I've run a little over time here, and I want to get back more into the Messiah or the Mashiach's name. We're going to break down here the etymology of the word, which tells us it's Yahushua, but we're going to find out that it's only that way by vowel points. The actual name of the Mashiach is Yahusha, and we're going to prove that through how the word itself, or the name itself, is broken down into 2 roots, and that being Yahu and Shah or Yasha, meaning salvation or deliverance. Thank you for your time this afternoon. Baruch haba Hashem Yahuwah. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahuwah. And we're looking for his return. I'm expecting him. Any moment, any time to come. In fact, we know from my study, I know that it will have to be around the Feast of Trumpets or the Feast of Rosh Hashanah. So I'm looking for his return, and sometime around either this year or next year, or if it's not, it's sometime in the future, very shortly, he is coming for his body, his bride. And so thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Shalom.